Where were you born?
I was born in Iraq, sir.
And why are you here?
I'm here because I want to serve the nation that gave me the American dream. The U.S. Army as a whole and the American institution has given my family an outlet to chase the American dream.
Welcome back to Sunday Night in America. Most of what we hear about young people today saddens us. There's depression and loneliness and uncertainty about the future and a dangerous reliance on social media. But there are young people willing to serve this country because they believe in this idea called America. Frank Luntz sat down with some of these young people, and what he found moved him and will likely move you too. Welcome, Frank. These young people could have gotten into any school in America, and yet they chose one of the toughest routes. Why?
They're exceptional and extraordinary human beings, and only at West Point, because of their commitment to serve. They don't think, what can America do for me? They think, what can they do for America? And they do it every single day.
Frank, people like talking about motive. Let's listen to what motivates these young people, and then I'll ask you a question on the other side.
Can several of you tell me what West Point means to you personally?
For me, it's a calling. It's a sense of duty, something that isn't tasked upon me, but something that I feel as if I need to do for my family, for my fellow Americans, and most importantly, for my friends here.
Duty, the word duty, how did that strike you when you heard that? I mean, we don't hear that word that often in our culture, the word duty.
Oh, and honor and country. It's been the motto there for more than 100 years, and they live it every single day. I've had the chance to lecture up there, and I'm going to be teaching there in the fall. It's the greatest honor I've ever had, because I truly place these cadets above me, because they place the country and the Constitution above everything else. And they're dedicated to service, they're dedicated to sacrifice, and that's what makes them so remarkable.
Frank, there are elite schools which do not require the discipline of a West Point. Let's listen together and find out why they chose this tougher route.
West Point is really, really good at finding something that you're bad at, and they will make you get good at it. They will force you. And it is really tough. It builds a lot of character.
My dad was a former Marine, and I'll never forget him telling me that they were not going to allow me to fail. And I think being here, there's not a single scenario that I can think of where someone would not be beside you, behind you, in front of you, leading the way for you.
Frank, I've watched as much of this interview that you did as can be found, and you seemed genuinely moved by some of what you heard. So what hit you the hardest emotionally interacting and questioning these young people?
We wouldn't want them as their kids. This is everything we dream of, not the selfishness and the self-centeredness, but the idea that there is a bigger purpose in life and they want to serve that purpose. You speak of how hard it is, the challenges that they have. I followed them. I can't pick up a 100-pound rucksack and put it on my back. I can't carry a 20 or 30-pound gun. And they do it for each other. The level of commitment and the level of courage that they have is something unprecedented. And I'm thinking, God, I would love to have one of these people as my child, because it's everything that we as parents want to see in the next generation. Courage, commitment, service, sacrifice. It's who they are, and it's how they live.
I think you answered it, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What motivated you to want to do this project? I mean, you do focus groups all the time. People pay you lots of money to figure things out. This seemed to me like a labor of love for you.
It's more than that. It's the reason why I'm here. Man, you always figure out a way to get me. I have seen the best of the best, and to have the honor to try to provide them with the skills and the talents and to try to participate in that educational process. And I'm listening to them speak and the level of sacrifice, and they're telling me about the challenges of their parents. And one of the young gentlemen who was here lost his father in the Afghan-Iraqi war. and yet he serves. He's a Gold Star son, and his story that he's telling me, I can't help but being emotional. We talk about service and sacrifice, these young men and women, and I want to emphasize the women now, because they are truly incredible. They are the best that America has to offer, and they do it every day, and they do it without apology, and they do it without reward. And it makes me feel great. It makes me be a proud American, Trey, because they are the best there are.
Frank, it is about service and sacrifice, but you have also provided us with more than a dash of hope, which is desperately needed in our culture. So thank you for doing this, and thank you for joining us on a Sunday night.